All right. It's one of those weeks where the headlines are doing all the talking. The NFL draft fallout is still shaking things up. Winners, losers, and teams already getting clowned. The NBA playoffs are in full chaos mode. First round drama, bad beats, at least one series nobody saw coming. And everywhere else, there's just enough going on to convince us that we found an edge. But we haven't. We're going to bet it anyways, though. And let's get into it. I'm Brogan.
I'm Sean.
And we have a clown of a third for the podcast here, Nick. Unfortunately, it's been a little bit since we've had a pod for you guys, and we haven't been able to track down Nick, so we had a clown take his place. So I don't think the clown speaks. Maybe he's more of a mime. But anyways, Sean and I will be here to keep you all company this week. Sean, unfortunately, it was a little rough for you when we did record last. Do you want to go over your regrets from the last time we recorded a podcast?
Yeah, which God seems so long ago. We were doing the right before the NBA playoffs started, and I went 1-3, so that was pretty shitty. But fortunately, I think I should be able to recall most of it. So I tried to double up with the Raptors and Cleveland game. So I had a Raptors plus 8.5, and that wasn't even close to hitting. Cleveland just demolished them in the first game. It was just a thorough ass whooping. And then the next one I had Denver minus 1.5 or minus 1.5 at the end of the first quarter, and that didn't hit because Denver came out super ice cold, and Ants and the boys came to play for the T-Wolves, so that one didn't hit. Denver did end up winning game one, but not in the first quarter, so that's shitty. The next one that did hit, my lone hit of the day, or week, I guess, was the Baltimore-Cleveland Nerfy, which feels like ages ago. And then I sold the parlay of the week with the Toronto-Cleveland under 22.5, and it was looking really promising that first quarter or so. Quarter and a half looked like a good old-fashioned NBA playoff first game feel-out rock fight. But then Cleveland just started shooting 60-70% from the field in the second half, and you're just not going to win a whole lot of unders when they're putting that many balls through the hoops. So that's unfortunate. So I went 1-3, but I sold the parlay of the week. So I got shots of Old Smoky Tennessee salty caramel per usual. Unfortunately, the bottle is getting light and getting lighter by the minute here. So I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can, as little a reaction. So I'm just trying to get this shit done and on to the next one. Been waiting a while to take these.
Yeah, been holding on to those for a while. Nick and I actually both went 4-0 when we did record this previously. I will say everyone in Nick's bets was over minus 135 or higher, so not necessarily hitting any dogs by any means for his locks, but Nick hit Jourdain money line in the UFC. He hit the Carolina Hurricanes money line in their first game of the series. Hurricanes moved on to round 2 in the NHL. He doubled that up for the parlay of the week. And then he also took the under in that game, 6.5. The Hurricanes shut out the Senators in game 1, so that was an easy under hit as well. For me, the last time I recorded, I took the Knicks minus 5.5 in game 1. I think they ended up winning that game by like 11. Then I had Amen Thompson and Desmond Bain each had 15 points. I think they both almost got 20 or got over 20. So that cashed pretty easily too. And then I had Cavs, Spurs, Thunder. Not really much of a sweat there besides Cleveland in the first game. Spurs game was a little tight, but I mean, Spurs got it done and they moved on as well. And then the parlay of the week, I had the Nuggets Timberwolves game 1 under 232.5. I think that game ended at like 220 or something. So that also hit pretty easily. No sweats there. So I went 4-0. Nick went 4-0. It was a good week, I guess, for bets.
Sure.
But what price did we pay? Because now we have lost Nick and he was replaced with a clown. So I do get to give out one shot. And seeing as the clown can't take a shot, Sean, that leaves you right in my crosshairs. But unlike Nick, I'm a good friend. I wouldn't do that to you. I got my old Christian Brothers brandy here. I'm going to take a shot for myself for going 4-0.
Love you, buddy. Appreciate that one. Nick can get bent. I'm not taking a shot even if he throws in my direction.
Yeah, fuck Nick. Anybody who comments fuck Nick, we will send you something. Somehow, some way.
W's in the chat.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to some news that's happened. Obviously, the NFL draft happened since we were on the pod last. I do think, Sean, we plan to have an NFL draft recap / look into NFL team totals potentially. Do an episode on that sometime soon. Not sure if we're...
Little bonus episode for the people for their patience.
Yeah, definitely go more in depth on maybe each team and what we're looking for heading into the next NFL season. Is there anything that sticks out to you, Sean, as maybe just high level from the NFL draft that you want to cover?
I was thoroughly disappointed that Diego Pavia did not get drafted.
No.
He did sign with the undrafted free agent with the Ravens, so. At least he's there. I've heard one podcast in particular just mentioned that one person could see him being a personal punt protector. That's about the only way he's making it onto the field. I hope that's not the case. I'd love to see him get a chance, but more than likely could be in the UFL, CFL if things take a turn. So, Otherwise, as a Packer fan, I mean, Nick's not here, so somebody's got to be out in the green and gold. I thought that we drafted for need pretty well. And I think it was Nick that sent it in, either Friday or Saturday. They're like, this is a knock out of the park draft for the Packers. Which obviously, given Goot's track record on that, we'll see.
Right.
But I thought we did a pretty good job of getting what we needed to, not overreaching or anything.
Yeah. I, for one, don't usually get too excited about drafts. You can think your team had the best draft ever, and you look back at it in 5 years, and you're like, man, we missed every single pick. Typically happens if you're a Packer fan. Or, you could be the Chiefs how many years ago, getting Patrick Mahomes, getting a Hall of Fame quarterback. Obviously, he wasn't a super late round pick. I mean, or even the Niners getting Brock Purdy at Mr. Irrelevant. And now, obviously, he's done some good things for the Niners, too. What I'm trying to say is I don't try to get too excited about the draft personally. I just, we'll look back on it. I like to look back on it in 3 to 5 years and see, are those guys actually still on the team? Are they still even in the league? But we will kind of do a draft rundown. One thing I did want to bring up, though, is I hate the Ty Simpson pick for the Rams. It might work out for him, but you have Matt Stafford winning the MVP. You have all the pieces. You're right there. Seattle was the only team that, you couldn't get past last year. And then...
They were so close, too.
Right. You're so close. And then you draft a quarterback with your first overall pick or your first round pick.
Couldn't be the Packers. We
right.
could never be doing that.
So, I don't know. When you're that close, I feel like you got to go for it. And if you're just wasting a first round pick on a future quarterback... especially Ty Simpson, who has under 15 starts in college, I think. The track record on those guys turning out in the NFL is not great.
Well, I'm just never big on Alabama quarterbacks anyway, because, forever before you could start legally paying players. Oh, God. They would always have the biggest, fastest, strongest dudes to throw to that were just getting separation on separation. They'd have your Jalen Waddles, and Tyreek Hill wasn't on the Crimson Tide, but there are plenty of other Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to CeeDee Lamb, but that's not the case.
Smith.
But Devonta Smith, all these prolific pass catchers. But, and going back a couple steps before, Brogan, what you were saying, each team kind of, and even each fan base kind of has their own grade for a successful draft. Some teams are really good and draft for depth at their positions and just let them develop under whoever they currently have, that's an extreme luxury, and sometimes you may get lucky and draft a rookie or a second or third rounder and hit it out of the park with those first couple, and they're instant playmakers. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a crapshoot. Nobody knows, so
yeah,
whatever. But tune in for when we grade how each team did.
Right. Yeah. Nobody knows, but we will let you know how we feel for sure. One thing that's kind of sad news, maybe coming out of college football, outside of just Diego Pavia not getting drafted, Brendan Sorsby, who was going to be the quarterback for Texas Tech this year, he was at Cincinnati last year, Indiana before that, I believe, got popped for gambling. A lot of his bets were allegedly smaller. It wasn't like he was maybe betting a lot of money, but plenty of bets, and also bet on his own Indiana team, allegedly, while he was on the team. Again, all alleged here. Just sad news, I guess, because this guy was, like, obviously draft predictions at this point for next year are unreal. Like, last year people were thinking Garrett Nussmeier might go number 1, and then now he was, like a 6th-round pick or something?
Something like that.
But anyways, Sorsby was projected to be a first-round pick in this upcoming NFL draft. Do a lot for Texas Tech this year, potentially be in the Heisman race, and now he probably will never play college football ever again.
Which I would like to see the receipts on some of these games that he was betting on, because I've always taken the stand, like Pete Rose should be in the
100%.
MLB Hall of Fame and all that.
100%.
And because if you're betting on your team to win, or like, oh, we're winning, but we're not winning by enough, let's cover and just fucking bury these guys, I have zero problem with that. Yeah, if you're point shaving and like, oh, we got to miss a kick here and there, it's third and manageable, but I'm just going to chuck it out of bounds or something sketchy like that. Yeah, that's where the integrity of the game comes into play. But if you're just betting on yourself, I have zero problem with that.
Yeah. Well, it's a touchy subject, obviously. Like, we are a sports betting podcast, so are we part of the problem? I'd say no, but some would say yes.
Definitely not.
But, I mean, you see DraftKings everywhere. You see prediction markets everywhere. You see FanDuel everywhere. I guess what I'm getting at is, like, it's one of those things where, like, what do you expect these young guys to not do things like this? Like, it's being force-fed down people's throats, basically, of, right, like, gambling. Like, you watch the NBA playoffs, and all it is DraftKings has this same game parlay ready for you.
Watch the UFC prelims, and it's going to be use promo code FIGHT20 for 20% off or some, yeah.
So, I mean, I get to the integrity of the game. Yeah, like Sean said, you can't have a guy betting on his unders or, the other team to win, obviously. But, yeah, I mean, if you're betting on yourself, I don't know. Why can't you bet on yourself? So, sucks to see, though.
I am very curious about all these, like, incoming freshmen and sophomores and so on. If they have, like, designated classes, because you know how they have, like, the rookie symposium for the NFL? Mm-hmm. Or I wonder if they have, like, something similar to that at the college level. Like, look, you cannot do X, Y, and Z. Like, do not have a FanDuel account. Do not have a DraftKings account. Anything like that. But also, have a fucking guy. That's the dumbest thing for, like, drinking, like, driving drunk for these famous people. Get Uber, like Tiger Woods. Like, get Uber. Something like that. Like, have a family member. Put shit in, like, have a super hyped family member that believes in you. That's way more believable.
Right.
Oh, if I was a college football player, my dad would love to put $5,000 on me to do something. Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't even need a guy. Jim would just be actually doing it.
Absolutely. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so I don't know. It sucks because obviously kid's super talented. Would have loved to watch him in Texas Tech. Texas Tech is slowly becoming a powerhouse with all the oil money they got down there. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens there. I guess nothing official has came out as far as like punishment, but you'd have to believe
probably the death penalty.
Right, you'd have to believe. And I did see Terrell Pryor. Remember when he got in trouble for like the tattoos at Ohio State? And then he came out in, like, the supplemental draft or whatever it's called, and basically, teams submit, like, what round they would like to pick him with, and then, like, whoever has the highest pick for him ends up with him. I'm not sure if that's applicable here, but I did see it on social media that, like, if he does he was eligible for the draft this year. Obviously, he decided to stay in college, but I think he could potentially be an NFL supplemental draft pick, Terrell Pryor was. And maybe
it's not like NFL players haven't been suspended for gambling before. Like we had, was it Jameson Williams last year?
I think he was suspended a game or two. Yeah, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was him, and it was Oh, Calvin Ridley, right?
Yep.
And
That
like
sounds
obviously
right.
those are the two higher guys that got popped for it, and there's some small like lesser players in there, but yeah, like those are people can bounce back. Like it's the NFL clearly has zero problem with it. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hope the best for him. Some good news, I guess maybe. We covered it, I believe, in the last. Well, I can't remember what we covered previously, but Dexter Lawrence goes to the Bengals for the 10th overall pick, and then he immediately signs a $28 million extension. You know who
so
else?
that was the night after like we recorded the pod in the day, and that broke that night. So that
Yeah.
was 2 Saturdays ago.
Okay. You're right, which is just a blur. Can't believe
I
it's
know, right?
already been that long. But in that time, we also got a Jayden Reed extension. So as a Packer fan,
Yes.
excited about that. Packers lost Dobbs to the Patriots, and then Dontavian Wicks in the trade with the Eagles. So locking up Jayden Reed. You know, he was kind of quiet last year. He obviously had the foot injury and a broken collarbone, I believe, as well. But guy is electric with the ball in his hands. So hopefully, now that he got his money, he'll be even more electric this year.
Well, that's where I think Golden's going to be taking a step up, and
Mm-hmm.
Reed's more of like one of those gadget players where you can get him on like an end around or anything.
Yeah.
Just anything with the ball in his hands to get him going. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, we're going to have Tucker Kraft back, who apparently has taken his off-season ACL training very serious and
Dude.
not smoking cigarettes or drinking. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's going to be a fun time to watch.
Yeah.
And as long as we get Christian Watson, we're going to be a-okay.
Right. Tucker Kraft looks like The Rock, basically. Like, you know, WWE Rock going into football.
Tight end one, let's go.
Yeah, dude looks massively jacked. Another receiver, George Pickens for the Cowboys, he did sign his franchise tag, which, listening to Adam Schefter and other guys in the media talk, means he like can't hold out. A lot of times guys get
So-
tagged, but they don't sign it.
Apparently he hasn't like this was as of a day or two ago. Apparently he hasn't signed it on
Oh, so he didn't sign it?
some Cowboys like Reddit threads or whatever. They're saying like that he hasn't officially signed it. I don't know if in the last 24, 48 hours if anything else has changed, but this is news because they were like they were absolutely slamming Shefty for mal reporting or whatever on it.
Yeah, and that's where I saw
But-
it. I didn't
Yeah.
see the.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know how much of that is valid. Like,
Okay, well, we'll take
yeah,
that back.
so-
Then. I take that back
But-
because, like I said, I got it from Shefty, and I guess a lot of the talk from Shefty was, you know, he signed it so that way he could get moved at the draft potentially. But I guess our sources say he hasn't signed it.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I mean, at this point, you're not going to trade him for a draft pick in this upcoming draft yet. Like, it's
Yeah.
what is the going rate for a George Pickens right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, probably.
At best, maybe a second rounder.
Yeah, I was gonna say like realistically, probably like a third and a fourth, but maybe a second.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, we're just on the wide receiver train here, I guess. One thing, you know, Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of him on social media, but he doesn't necessarily look like he's maybe in playing shape. I know it's the off season, but do you think we've seen Brandon Ayuk's last snaps on the field?
In general, or with
Yeah, just overall. Like, I know he's done with the Niners, but, like, it doesn't really look like he's coming back.
Yeah, I think he's going to play somewhere. Probably. I mean, Kelvin Benjamin had how many shots?
That's true.
And that dude was, they were not kind to him. But some of that I thought was Photoshop, but
All right.
Yeah,
What? Any other NFL news scene you want to cover?
no, I think,
Yeah, obviously draft was the big thing, and yeah, we'll see what else happens here. We'll see if there's any rookies holding out on signing their contracts in the coming weeks, because that's kind of been a thing too of wanting all the guaranteed money and everything. I also I totally forgot to put this on the rundown, but it just popped in my head too. I saw little rumblings about the NFL and the referees kind of butting heads a little bit. The NFL like offered referees a slight raise, and the referees did not want to accept that. I don't know how much you know about it, Sean. I'm throwing you on the spot here, but sounds like there is a small potential we could have replacement refs.
Yeah, I saw that they're like getting ready to move on with like Division Two and Division Three replacement refs, and I think we talked about it like maybe a month or two ago. But yeah, I mean the quality of the game is just going to suffer, and I mean it cost the Packers a fucking win in
Yep, Seattle.
2012 or some shit. Yeah, so obviously it's going to hurt some team. I just hope it's not us.
Right. Well, you know who's hurting right now? LIV Golf. They lost their Saudi backing. I believe the Saudis are still backing them through 2026, but after this year, LIV does not have funding from the Saudis at least. I think the report was that allegedly the Saudis have spent like $5 billion with a B on that golf league. And obviously there's Brooks Koepka already came back to the PGA Tour. I don't know. I would love to see Bryson and John Rahm come back to the PGA Tour. Everybody else can kind of just fuck off.
Last time I saw Bryson, he was struggling on like a 7-hole in Augusta. And just,
yeah, I didn't look good at the Masters.
Having the best time.
No. Yeah, Sergio. I'm sure you saw Sergio Garcia just attacking the tee box after he shanked a drive.
I did
Masters,
not, but
yeah.
I absolutely love that.
So, anyways, yeah, it looks like LIV is on life support. It was, you know, an ambitious thing of trying to change golf. I think golf is one of those sports where, like, people don't want golf to change, right? ESPN's tried doing it with the Simulator League. I don't know if anybody watches that at this point. I tried to watch it at one point.
Thing.
Right. And it's just like they got Tiger and Rory trying to do it, but it's just not taking off. Like, golf is just... Tiger. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's other reasons that's struggling right now, too, but... golf is just one of those things I feel like that, you know, people want it to be just, they don't want change, I guess, in golf. Whereas, like,
bunch of old white dudes? Yeah,
right.
That sounds about right.
Well, like, baseball's getting away with challenges and the pitch clock, which I think, at least pitch clock-wise, everybody universally agrees baseball needed that. Obviously, people might be still a little bit cold on challenges. I personally like them. Right. But golf... I don't know. You just can't change it. LIV tried to do it. Seems like it's on life support. And, yeah, good try, but not going to work.
Yeah. Well, they got... And that's the thing. If you're one of those corporations that have... Not even corporations, just independent... Essentially, like, independent contractors for that. And you have billions upon billions of dollars to just throw at it and try and make something exciting. I mean, yeah.
Right.
Worth a shot, I guess.
Right.
If you got the money, go for it.
Right. Don't hate it, but... all right, moving on. We got a lot of playoffs going on now. Well, before we get to the playoffs, maybe let's say the playoffs. Let's get into MLB quick. It's been so long since we recorded, but the Pirates started hoisting the cone. It's a pretty sweet celebration for the Pirates. Sean, you want to share a little bit more about hoisting the cone?
Oh, I'd be happy to. Yeah, so it started, I think it was like the Fanatics clothing order or something. Where essentially it was with the Pirates, and it was supposed to be a pirate theme, like hoist the colors, like where they just raise the Jolly Rogers and everything like that. But it was a typo, and it was hoist the cone. So absolutely loved it. The players embraced it, and the Pirates are actually doing pretty good this year, weirdly enough, even though their owner should sell the team and Paul Skeens should be traded. But hey, they're fighting in a very tight NL Central right now, and the fans have embraced it, and they've been trying to sneak in just street traffic cones into the stadiums and just join the players in the celebration of raising the cone, or hoisting the cone. And it's a pretty hefty fine. And at one point, I thought it was a felony if you steal like a construction traffic cone. But yeah, I mean those Pittsburgh Pirates fans, they're loyal to the cause, so I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, the NL Central is just kind of a bloodbath right now. We're recording this on the last day of April, and right now, Pirates are technically in last place, but they're 16-16. Like, they're even, and they're in last place. Where, I mean, if you're in like the AL West, which I get's a different division, or even the AL Central, if you're at even, so 16-16, you're in first place or second place. So, obviously, baseball is super long season, but Pirates off to a decent start, like you said.
You
So
can't lose a division or a pennant or you can't win one in April, but you definitely can lose one. And the Pirates are not at least on track to lose one at the moment yet.
right.
Give it May and June for them to fizzle out, but
Well, I'm glad you said that. I know when we recorded last, I brought up the Mets sucking. The Mets still suck as we're recording this in April.
yeah.
They're like 10-20 or 10-21 or something.
10 and 21. I had to
Yeah.
pull that up because it didn't. When I said 10 and 17, it didn't feel right.
Right. Not enough losses yet.
Oh my god.
Man, I couldn't imagine being a Mets fan. Like, it sucks enough being a Brewers fan because, like, we never invest in the team. The Mets invest in the team. They have stars. They get Juan Soto. Right.
They have our
like,
GM.
Right. They get David Stearns from the Brewers. And, I mean, they get Freddie Peralta from the Brewers. They get all the pieces. And,
Yeah, Devin Williams from the Brewers.
right. And just Bo Bichette even went to him in the offseason here. They lost Pete Alonso. But still, I mean, there's no reason for this Mets team to be 10-21, lose 17-20 games. Like, they are just digging themselves a hole. And it's going to be tough to see them come out of this. And, I mean, obviously, the New York media is not a place that you want to be unsuccessful in, and they are letting the fans and the media are letting the Mets hear it right now.
It's the biggest payroll in baseball. It's 370 something, I think. I want to say around there. And yeah, I don't know how you.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Like the manager's got to be an extremely. I forget who's the.
like Fernando
skip is.
Mendoza, I think.
Yep, that sounds right. Mendoza's got to be his seat's got to be just boiling right now. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for New York, I get it's a tough division. You get the Phillies, right? You get the Braves. And I guess even the Nationals are semi-competitive. The Marlins are semi-competitive.
Yeah.
So it's a tough division. But, like, when you're paying the top cream of the crop talent, you got to be able to produce. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a lot of other MLB clubs are seeing stuff that the Mets weren't. And they just kind of had rose-colored glasses. And they just were loving some of these guys, like Freddie, which, good, take them. I guess. Why not?
Yeah.
But,
Well, another team up in the East that's struggling too, the Red Sox, came into the season with some high hopes maybe, and they are 12-19 according to our stats department. And they fired Alex Cora last week, I believe. So, bad. I mean, the Red Sox weren't scared to make a move. I think it came out too that they were looking at getting rid of Cora maybe even before the season started, and Bregman kind of allegedly stopped it. I think I read that on social media. So, again, not sure if my sources there are good as well, since they've been kind of shitty recently with the Schefter sources. But, Cora's out as the Red Sox manager. The Red Sox don't fuck around, and they make the move. So, we'll see if the Mets do that with Mendoza here coming up, because the Mets are even worse.
yeah, and it is tough because, I mean, the Red Sox, or the AL East is like the Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays. Even the Orioles every once in a while like have their day. So it's extremely competitive, and I mean it can go from realistically any of those teams on a good year could come out of the AL and compete in the World Series, and it wouldn't surprise me. And yeah, I mean it's not like they are lacking talent. They have Duran, they have Rafaela, they got Abreu, they got Roman Anthony, who was electric in the World Baseball Classic and still just lethal out there in the outfield.
Just don't want him thrown to home, but outside of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to shout out Mutataki Murakami. I totally butchered that.
Wasn't going to even try it, so yeah. God bless you.
Came over from Japan, and just hits bombs. I think he's got 12. I think he's tied with Judge and maybe Jordan right now at the end of April for the most home runs in the MLB. But kind of shocked to see him to go to the White Sox, and I guess it's cool to see him have some success there because the White Sox have had nothing to be excited about for maybe the last decade.
I do love the because they have his like traditional Japanese name on the spelling for the jerseys, so that's pretty sick. Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll see if
Southside's got something.
Right, see if we can keep it up through the rest of the year, because it'd be cool to see Mutataki and Judge just slugging each other all year long. All right, talk about slugging. Let's get into some playoff talk here. Before we get to the NBA, which was a major topic on our last pod, the NHL playoffs also kicked off, and our puck expert is the clown over here. Do you have anything to say about the puck, Mr. Clown? All right, I'll take that as a no. I've been watching a little puck myself. I love the NHL playoffs. Every game just feels so close. I think every series had a game go into overtime in the first round. I think I heard that last night. I was watching the Penguins Flyers went into overtime. The Flyers won to advance, but the announcer said something about like every series has had at least one overtime game, I think. So I mean, yeah, playoff hockey is just tight. The Avalanche and Hurricanes did sweep their series, but outside of that, every other series is 3-2. So love to see it, love to watch it, having a good time, and I guess that's all I got to say. I'm not really a puck expert, but as a casual puck viewer, it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, let's see. Just pulling up the bracket. I mean, let's see who we got. Oilers Ducks tonight or tomorrow. Yeah,
It's tonight.
Be fun.
9 o'clock puck
tonight.
drop.
Hopefully Oilers can force a game 7. We got Vegas Golden Knights, who have seemingly always been good since their inception. They're 3-2 against the Mammoth of
Utah.
I got Utah. Really?
Yep.
Utah is a hockey team. Interesting. So it shows how much I know about that. Montreal Canadiens are up in the Lightning. Like the Lightning won it within what, like the last 2 or 3 years, right?
I believe so. Yep. From a casual.
There, at least made it.
Yeah.
Knicks Hurricanes are looking good.
Yep. They get to take on.
I didn't realize they were a 1 seed, so he's got a legit shot.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll have to. Hopefully, Nick comes back next week, and we'll be able to get his thoughts for you all, since he is the NHL puck expert for us.
Yeah.
But moving on to somebody that we do have an actual expert for on the pod, the NBA playoffs. Sean, how have you been feeling so far with the playoffs?
I'm loving it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been locked in. I usually don't necessarily tune out the first round, but like I keep plenty of tabs. I'll watch some games here and there, especially some of these a little bit higher contested games, like the Nuggets Timberwolves has been a grinded out just matchup. One of the things that we forgot to mention, I think, on the rundown was in Game 4, Donte DiVincenzo tore his Achilles, very similar to a la Jason Tatum a couple years or last year about this time, and he had essentially the same surgery where it was like under 24 hours. So ideally he'll be back in either late March or early April again at this time next year. So wish him a speedy recovery. And then unfortunately Ants hyperextended his knee, so he is no longer playing in the series against Denver.
And that's the other knee, right? Because he already had like a knee kind of banged up, and then he hyperextended the different knee.
Yes, so it's extremely unfortunate. I'm just happy that it wasn't like a torn ACL, because I know when the Bucks were on their championship run in 2021, Giannis hyperextended his knee, and everybody just thought he was like, oh, it bent a little too far, and probably massive ligament damage. You're looking at a 12 to 13 month recovery period, and this next season's a wash. But fortunately, it looks like it was just a really bad hyperextended knee, so no need to panic, I guess, if you're a Timberwolves fan. And Ant should be back. I mean, if they're able to get through this series without him, I think they're probably going to miss at least the next series, or he's going to miss the next series against a Spurs team that looked damn good against the Blazers. The Blazers gave them about all they could handle, but they're just not there yet. Looking in still on the west side of the bracket, though, we got Lakers, Rockets. They're playing tomorrow night, and the Lakers are up 3-0 really early in the series, and the Rockets have come back to win the last 2. Kevin Durant wasn't even playing last night, and they still took care of business. Granted, it was close, but that's been probably about the biggest surprise of the playoffs. I just didn't think that this Lakers team had any fight, especially with your top player, and then probably third best player on the team, injured in Luke. Austin
Donte.
Reeves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was
Okay, I didn't
yeah.
know if you were stuck on Doncic
Sorry,
or.
no. I got stuck halfway through. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. The name was just not coming to me, but yes. So I mean, those two. LeBron. It's been LeBron, Marcus Smart, and just a ragtag bunch there. But a very fun surprise is the Magic are currently up 3-2 on the Pistons. They play tomorrow night, I believe, and hopefully the Pistons can wrap that shit up. Raptors Cleveland is looking like that shit might go 7. It's just been the classic NBA playoffs of home team wins each game, and it was an absolute rock fight on Sunday, where game 4 for the Raptors Cavs, where the Raptors held the Cavs to like 89 points or something like that. So it was a terrible game to watch if you are a fan of just high scoring basketball, but I was a fan. I was just sitting back enjoying it. Let's see what else we got here. Celtics 76ers. So that game is right now it's 3-2. Boston leads, but it's game 6 is happening right now in Philly, and that game's pretty close at the moment. And the last game that's looking like it's going to be closed out here maybe even before the pod ends, is going to be Knicks Hawks, where the Knicks are up 3-2 in the series. It's in Atlanta. Knicks 116, Hawks 64. One team showed up to play. One team has not. So hopefully the Knicks can wrap that shit up. No, overall it's been a pretty awesome first round, and very excited for the second round, and so on.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I've actually tuned into a couple of games, and I'm excited to watch the end of that Sixers Celtics game after this pod here, because that could go to Game 7, and that would be electric. All right, well, yeah, we'll stay tuned, and we should have, I guess, first round wrapped up when we record next week and look ahead to round 2, conference semifinals. All right, Scene, anything else we want to go over before we get into potentially Dawgs and our picks for the week?
Let's see. No, I don't think so. Unless there's been any breaking news as of the last 10, 15 minutes, but I don't think so.
I haven't seen any, but my sources have been pretty shitty lately, so I don't trust any of them. All right, well, let's move on to Dawgs. We didn't have really too many Dawgs last time. I picked LeBron to be the Lakers' first points. That didn't hit. I'm pretty sure it was DeAndre Ayton in their first game. But I also have Spurs to win the West at plus 350. Obviously, they moved on. I did not check and see what these odds have changed to now, since they already did move on. But Spurs moved on, and I mean, if the Wolves can beat the Nuggets, which is a big if, but obviously Ant's banged up, DiVincenzo tore his Achilles. The path to the Thunder might have been a little bit easier for the Spurs if they don't have to play the Nuggets. So, still like that dog. That one's going to be alive, hopefully, for another couple weeks here. I do have one dog this week, so it's not a huge dog. It's a little yapper, as Sean likes to say. F1, Formula One, is finally back. It was off all of April because of the Iran war. They were supposed to be doing a bunch of races over in the Middle East, and then with all the things going on over there, they decided that was not worth it. So Formula One was on a little mini spring break, and they're back now. They're going to be in Miami, I believe. And we're going to take George Russell to be the fastest sprint qualifier. So the sprint is basically a little thing they do before the race. Anyways, George Russell to be the fastest sprint qualifier. It's plus 155. I think that should be closer to even money, so I think there's a lot of value there. I know, not really a huge dog, but should be one that's pretty easy to cash. Sean, you got any dogs this week?
Yeah, I'll just take a fucking swing here.
Hell yeah.
So we got in a closeout game at home for the Magic. Give me Paolo Banchero triple-double at plus 2,200.
Hell yeah.
Put that one in.
All right. Any other shots you're taking?
Yeah, no. That's all she wrote.
One big one?
Yep.
All right. I love it. Well, then let's move on to our locks for this week. Now, Nick did put in some locks. Sean, I don't think you can see them, so I can read them off for you. His first one is I Heart Caleb Williams. Second one is Williams greater than Love. Third one is Bear Down. And for the parlay of the week, he has Caleb Williams MVP. So
Interesting.
Nick couldn't be here, but that's what he put in for his picks this week.
Seems like a very hypocritical thing.
Yeah. For me this week, I'm taking the Pistons to cover 3.5 points. This is in Game 6 in Orlando. It's kind of a personal hedge bet. I believe the last one seed to lose in the first round was the Milwaukee Bucks a few years ago to the Heat.
Correct.
So I'm kind of hedging. I would honestly love to take a shot for this one because then it means that the Pistons are the latest one seed to lose in the first round. I get they could win and not cover, but I think if they do win, they are going to cover. I'm going to cover all the sports this week. So next one, I'm going to the MLB. The Brewers are heading on a trip out east to play the Nationals. The first game of that series is on May 1st, and Jacob Mizorowski is on the mound for the Crew. So I'm going to take the Brewers run line. That's -1.5 at +109. So basically the Crew to win by 2 against the Nationals in the first game of that series. This weekend, there's a UFC fight down in Australia. If you want to watch it, you either got to stay up real late or get up real early because it is being televised on Australia time. Unlike the UFC card that was down there it was about over a month ago probably with Volkanovski, where they made them fight at a ridiculous time so that way it was nighttime in the US. But anyways, if you're going to watch UFC this weekend, you got to stay up late or get up early or just watch the recordings afterwards. But I'm going to take, in the main event, Carlos Pradas? I never know how to fucking say it.
Yeah, I think it's Pradas.
To beat JDM Della Maladova, or however the fuck you say his. I mean, I'm just
Della
Lena. I'm thinking of what's the basketball player? Matthew Dellavedova. That's right.
Also Australian.
Right. I was combining him and JDM together, but yeah, I like that in the main event. And then in the parlay of the week, I'm gonna go to the puck. I'm going to take the Golden Knights to close out the series against the Utah Mammoth tomorrow night, May 1st, at -115. All right, Scene, what do you got this week?
All right. Well, I got the first one. So I put this in a couple days ago because, again, the spotty days when we're trying to line this shit up. So I have Nick's money line I had this at -148, and I'm glad that I got it then because I can only imagine that they have since shut off the money line option because the Knicks are currently up 119 to 68 against Atlanta. So love that for me. Next one was Boston money line and parlayed with Jason Tatum over 8+ rebounds. I did just check, and it's halftime in Philly. It looks like.
Tatum hit his rebounds, I think.
Tatum is at 10+ rebounds, so now we just need a Celtics win, and that's looking glorious. Next one is Rangers Tigers Nerfy for tomorrow. I'm thinking that's going to be somewhere around -135-ish. And just to tout my daily Nerfies, we went 17-12 in the month of April, and we're up about 1.5 units. Again, we had a disgusting losing streak of picking -145, -150 favorites. Hell yeah. And we still ended up coming out on top, so love that. And then the last one is the parlay of the week. We're bringing it over to the UFL, and we're going DC Defenders -4.5. They have been, from my understanding, the best team in the UFL, and they've just been dominating teams. It's not even close. So give me DC Defenders -4.5 at -105.
I like that. So only 2 legs this week in the parlay of the week. And if you parlay those together, it's +265. So that's DC Defenders -4.5 for Sean, and the Golden Knights to pull it out against the Utah Mammoth money line. So, I mean, not a barn burning parlay of the week by any means, but If we can't
Actually,
hit,
would really help if we had a third leg.
right, if we can't hit a two-legger, how are we ever gonna hit a three-legger? All right, Scene. Kind of a quicker one today since we're kind of lost. But any closing words you want to share before we sign off?
Now, just keep watching basketball and hockey, I guess. Keep betting Nerfies.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up early to watch UFC Perth, and yeah, go Brewers.
Yep. And I know Sean covered it quickly in his bets for this week, but he is 17-12 in April for Nerfies.
Eat, eat.
That gotta be following us on Twitter if you want to see those. Sean does do a very good job of putting those out daily. So if you want to hit some Nerfies
Appreciate
with
it.
us, follow us on Twitter, and Sean will have you locked down with some Nerfies.
You bet.
All right, well, that's the card for this week. Some bets will cash, some will turn into regrets, but either way, we ride. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll be back breaking it all down. Bet smart, and if it misses, take the shot. Goodbye.
See ya.